So, so Tanya has done several clearing calls with us. A few weeks ago, it was around money, was very deep because the power of clearing shit around certain topics is that it immediately shifts our perspective. And when we shift and change our perspective, new things can be created. It's very important to shift perspectives because um, a lot of stuff that we are projecting is not working and is putting big blockages on whatever we want to create. And therefore, these calls are so powerful because as we also come together as a group, we unite our powers together. And then when Tanya is taking the lead and is going to clear all the energies around it, it's just a huge contribution. So I'm very grateful for you, Tanya, that you want to facilitate this. You gift this to us all for free, and that I'm very grateful for you. And I made you co-host. You can share your screen if you need it. And I'm going to pin your video as well because I want to highlight you. Let's see how I add spotlight. Should I add spotlight? Yeah, but not on me, on you. I'm going to stop my video. And now I want, I want to pin you.
Cool. So
Pin
I'll
it.
start talking no matter how it looks like.
Yes.
Now I see myself. Wonderful. So hello and welcome everyone tonight on our special, I would call it creation Zoom. And the topic today is one of my really, really dear topics. And I'm inviting you to really look at what are you choosing, and really invite you to see what choices are actually actualizing a greater life. And as Jackie just introduced me, and I think that part is not on the recording, I'm basically in business for over 25 years in the corporate world, working with corporate companies, and I'm also an access consciousness facilitator. Since 2012, I'm doing access. I became a facilitator 2013, so it's basically 7 years. And um, there are some moments when somebody speaks with you and you have these big ahas. And one of this big aha moment was, I think it was in 2016 or 17, when my friend Dane, who is the co-creator of Access Consciousness, said in a class that we are all very potent, we are all creators. And if we want to know it or not, we are the creators of our lives. And if there is something in your life that you have asked for and it has not shown up, you're not really choosing it. And I was kind of like stunned by that. And after class, I really looked into all areas of my life and not only looked from my headspace, but really allowed myself to perceive the energies around these different areas. And I thought I have chosen stuff, but I chose it from my head and I didn't allow the energy to really be congruent with the choice I thought I made from my headspace. So I would really like to invite you to become congruent with everything you say, you be, and do. And with the access consciousness tools, it's basically you ask a question and then an energy comes up, and then you use the clearing statement to basically discharge the energy. And you cannot erase or clear something that you truly are. You cannot erase your being, but you can erase, clear, and eliminate all the limitations. And that's what I would like to invite you guys. So everything that doesn't allow you to be congruent with everything you choose, with everything you say, with everything you do on all levels, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And I'm very playful with access tools. And when there is a specific way of clearing stuff, I always use it until I find another way that is making more fun for me. And recently there was a 7-day class, and Gary and Dane introduced a clearing type where they address the myth we are buying into and also the archetypes we have created about certain things. And just a quick introduction for all of you. So basically, a lot of what we do in Access is to become what you truly are, to really embody your entire being. And you cannot be in thoughts, feelings, emotions, or in any identities you have created, and at the same time, be completely what you truly are. So, in a way, when you are in your thoughts, feelings, emotions, your archetypes, your aspects, identities, however you call them, you cannot function from your true being. And I would like to invite you to destroy and uncreate all of that and allow more of that, what you truly are, into existence in all areas of your life. And this is why I would like to ask you, what myth and archetypes are you using that do not allow you to be totally congruent on all levels with everything you be, do, generate, create, institute, and actualize? Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And for example, with these myths and archetypes, a lot of times we create our life as it is because we want to please others. We want to be right in their opinion. And this is why we do not allow ourselves to create beyond it. And if you are really truly and if you are really true and honest with yourself, how much are you avoiding being really successful and actualizing and embodying everything you truly desire in order to be acceptable for your family? Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Ooh. And this is, for example, one of the reasons that we kind of fear that we are losing others. We have that deep and inner sense of belonging to others. And how much are you dimming yourself down in order to fit in? So if there would not be the necessity to fit in to other people's realities or to other people's judgments and projections of you, who or what could you truly choose to be? So everything that is and everything that doesn't allow you to outcreate all of that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what I've learned in my career when I worked with a lot of companies doing IPOs, initial public offerings, 20 years ago, a long time, there was a thing called the new economy. And I really loved working with these new economy companies because they were also creative. They had all that enthusiastic vibe, kind of a little bit like the Healy company. But what they did is they kind of rejected the old economy. And from my perspective, you cannot create beyond something, or how we call it in Access, you cannot outcreate something if you are in resistance or reaction of it. So the first step in order to outcreate something, maybe your family, is to truly, truly accept it. And everything that doesn't allow you to acknowledge and accept your life and all the situations that you have created as they are right now, will you please destroy, and uncreate them all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And that's the first step. So it's really hard to change something if you are in resistance and reaction. So I would say that's a major step you have to choose to really see what is. And you can lie to anyone else, but please start being truly honest with yourself and with your choices. And maybe you want to do a little exercise after this call and look at all areas in your life, especially the ones where you are not happy with, and ask yourself, what am I choosing here? And what are the infinite possibilities? What could I actually choose here? Or you could ask a question, if I would be truly creating my life, if I would be the creator of my life, what would I choose? Start asking questions to become aware of what choices are creating the life you are actually choosing. And there might be some of you who rather think it's your life is basically the result of you being a victim. And victimhood is one of the greatest roadblocks you have if you really would like to create your life. So, how many myths and archetypes are you using to stay in the victim, to stay and embody the victimhood you are choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what is required? What choices could you make today that would allow you to outcreate all the places and spaces you have created that do not allow you to truly choose, create, and actualize the life you desire? So everything that is times a godzillion, and everything that doesn't allow that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And I could philosophically go into all different directions and facilitate the energies I'm aware of. But I'm also very, very happy to play with you guys and play with your questions. So if you have questions, just ask them. I'm not sure, Jackie, can everyone unmute themselves or do they need to raise hands? So what's the setting here? Jackie?
Looking at the setting, one moment.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering, you were unmuted, but you didn't speak. And maybe you know how to raise hands. You go to participants and then you see the little symbols and there is the hand. And Suzanne writes she cannot unmute themselves. So do the hand raising thing. I will unmute you guys. Go to participants and there are the little dots and there's a little hand waving. This is the button you have to click that I see that you have a question. Or the other way would be you write it in the chat, but I prefer speaking with you. So anyone who has any questions? And if not, Susanna, okay, I am unmuting you.
Yes. Can you hear
Hello,
me?
my dear. Yes,
Hi.
I can hear you. Hi.
Oh, my Healy just went off. Just 1 second.
All these interruptions, these technical interruptions.
And it was on the charger. Yeah, I have a question. That is, I am very known. Sorry about that.
No
With
worries.
Access Consciousness, I've been doing it myself since 2015. am a CFMW, as so to speak. And I can totally see where I'm not choosing, where I can choose greater. And I see myself stopping at the illusion of not having enough time to to do everything that I require to do to actually move forward.
And you might have heard Gary or Dane talking about that there are 3 excuses where no one can argue with. And one is health, the other one is money, and the third one is time. So
Yeah.
if you say, I have no time, I don't have the money, I am ill or I am sick, no one will argue. So have you acknowledged how amazingly you have created that?
Absolutely.
And what myth and archetypes are you using to create yourself as the slave of time you are choosing, rather than being the creator of time that you truly are?
Yes.
So everything that is and everything that doesn't allow you to outcreate all of that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all?
Yeah, I've had that on a loop for
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And you know, with that myth, what we are doing is we are confining ourselves in a box. And this is exactly what you just did. So thank you for that live example, because you created time like a prison for you. You kind of like incarcerate yourself in your little time box, and then you do not know how to get out. And this is what the clearing does. It really helps you to bust all the boxes away and allow you to make different choices.
So what happens when you go in and out then? Because I know time is just an illusion and I can do like way more stuff than I used to. And then
Yeah, but you're
you
not
get stressed
functioning.
about
You're
the
not
stuff that I
functioning from that
do.
awareness all the time. You know it, and sometimes you make time real and bigger than you. And you might have also heard about the tool that if you're, for example, late, you ask the time to expand, that you will be there on time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there is also another clearing, and I'm not sure if I find it very quickly, Dane has given, because he had some time issues too. It was something like, what shales are you using to create the dominance of E equals mc squared to create yourself as the slave of time rather than the one who creates time, or to create what time is? So everything that is and everything that doesn't allow that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? It was a little bit different. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock on 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. But what do you do when you do not remember? You make something up, you know? And I might find it somewhere, but we all have these time issues, because some of you might have experienced it too, that you have the sense that the time is shortening, you have less time available. But what if time is no longer linear and you can play with? So what myth and archetypes are you using to create time as a linear element you are choosing, that doesn't allow you to outcreate what time actually is? Everything that is times a gazillion, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And can
Yeah,
you
I think,
sense how the boxes are
yeah.
expanding, melting, shifting, changing?
And now I'm aware where I'm going back into the stuckness is where I judge myself, knowing that I can be faster, do more. And when it doesn't, like when some stuff doesn't work, or I have done less than I really wanted to, or like, sometimes stuff lasts longer than, they anticipated. So at the end, it's like, okay, body is really telling you to just, move on out, go to bed. And you're like, fuck, I didn't get to do everything that I was supposed to do with the judgment. So I guess I'm using the okay, somebody else is unmuted.
Yeah,
Sabrina.
Sabrina. I'm muting her, and if she has a question, I'm happy to unmute her later. And you know, I had a time
Against me.
where I worked for a lot of companies as a CFO, also did Access, and I was like freaking out because everyone wanted something from me and I had no clue when to deliver. This was a time where I stopped working linearly and really allowed in the chaos as a creative element. When I speak about chaos, chaos is actually pure creation. It is a creative element. I'm not talking about being messy and uh, um, destroying everything. So I'm really inviting chaos as an element of creation. And then I always ask what energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities can my body and I be to be the speed of space I truly be, to get everything handled with ease, joy, and glory. And everything that doesn't allow that, I destroy and uncreate. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What I do with that, I bring in the choice, I bring in, you can call it intention, willpower, however you call it, that I want to get everything done and I ask for it. And I destroy and uncreate everything that doesn't allow it. And this is one of the major clearings, because one of the things we are talking about in Access is allowing yourself to be totally out of control, out of definition, out of limitation, and so on, because this keeps you stuck in this reality, in the linear reality where you cannot create the magic and the miracles that you truly can create in this world. And then you have to actually allow yourself to be the speed of space that is beyond the linear reality, that you function from space and stop trying to do stuff linearly. Does that help, Suzanne?
Absolutely.
Cool.
So do you also have a pointer or a clearing to actually stay connected to your body? Because that's what I see when I'm doing that. Like when I'm going there, I I like gradually I stop be connected to my body and the earth, and then it goes into chaos, messy,
Yeah.
and I have no clue. Like everything's gone, lost, and
Uh-huh.
I get stressed, and then I get the adrenaline shot.
Okay. How many autoresponders and crushed autoresponders are you using to check out when you're overwhelmed, you're choosing? So everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And how old were you when you learned that when you get in an overwhelm or in a stressy situation, the right thing to do is to check out? Who taught you that?
4.
For and your mother?
I think so. Yes, it's always the moms.
Nah, sometimes it's also the dads,
Yeah.
but a lot of the weird things where we wonder and where we are surprised about ourselves, we actually mimicked from our parents. So everything that is, and everywhere you, you still have that conclusion in your universe that this is the right thing you do, will you please
Yes.
destroy and uncreate it all?
Absolutely.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what myth and archetypes are you using to check out when you are overwhelmed or when you are being stressed, you are choosing?
Yes.
So everything that is, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Run that.
Yes.
And the other thing is, who or what are you being when you check out? Because if you are really functioning from the infinite being that you truly are in communion with everyone and everything all the time, you know? And who or what archetype or what identity you have created that checks out. This is basically an invention.
Yeah, I was really good at it.
Cool. And does that really work for you?
No, not anymore. It used to do a lot, but
Yeah.
until I was like 45 or something, I was like, okay, this shit don't work no more.
Yeah. And you might have functioned from the conclusion that everything sorts itself when you are gone.
Well,
So
at least it's not that intense. It's like, I can sort of handle it without being it so intense and without being everything in my awareness and in my face and what have you.
yeah.
So it
And
looked like it made it easier, but eventually it caught up because my body is like, hello.
mm-hmm.
Can
Poor
you-
body, you leave him alone with all that messes you've created.
I know.
And it's basically a reaction. So what action can you be now that you are grown up and that you are aware of all of that, that would entirely change the situation with total ease? And everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive all of that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes. Thank you.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock on nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And have you ever tried the opposite of really connecting even deeper into your body and at the same time connecting deeply into the earth and expand out into the entire universe instead of checking out?
Awesome. Like way leaning in, like basically stepping way into it instead of just like,
Going away. Yeah. And do a little exercise. And I can do it 2 minutes with you just to get a sense of it. Just allow yourself to really deeply connect into your body and literally relax into your body. And then with every breath you take, you relax even deeper into your body. And maybe you haven't done it before, but maybe you want to start enjoying the space your body actually is. And then expand your awareness even more and relax through your body into the earth. And expand even more and allow yourself to relax even more and even deeper into the earth. And I do that exercise quite often. And I always ask, hey, body, what contribution can you be here right now? What contribution can I receive from you? And what contribution can I give to you? And I do the same with the earth. Hey, earth, what contribution can I receive from you? And what contribution can I now give to you? And then really allow the simultaneity of gifting and receiving with your body, with the earth, and just enjoying the yummy energies and relax even deeper into that. And while you are, keep on breathing and relaxing even deeper into your body and into the earth. Allow yourself to expand out in all directions, including deep, deep, deep down into the earth. And allow yourself to become even bigger than the room that you are in. And take some good deep breath and allow yourself to relax even more into your body and into the earth, and allow yourself to expand and become bigger than the house that you are in. And relax even deeper and allow yourself to expand out and become bigger than the city you are in. Deeply relax even more and allow yourself to expand out. and become even bigger than the country you are in. And now relax even deeper and allow yourself to expand out, to become even bigger than the entire planet. And relax even deeper and allow yourself to expand out beyond the solar system, beyond the galaxy, beyond the entire universe. Allow yourself to become totally infinite and be the infinite being that you truly are. And what myth and archetypes are you using to avoid perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving the infinite being that you truly are? Everything that is and everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive all of that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Cool. And how is it for you, Suzanne?
It's funny because my body is like more relaxed and like I'm way more aware of my body. And it kind of feels it is like it's really dense, but it's more that I'm really aware of like how my bum is on the seat and everything. And my head feels like a a bunk of concrete. Like,
Yeah, so let's connect with all the molecules of your body and the space between the molecules. And can you find the one molecule in your body that when you turn it, the whole density and intensity starts to be cleared and being released? And it's just an intention. You don't search for it. What's the one molecule that if I find it and turn it, that all the dense energies and all the intensities starts to clear up, shift and change and be released. And now turn it 180 degrees. Turn it again 180 degrees. And turn it again 180 degrees. And again, please. And turn it again. Turn it again. And turn it again. How is it?
yeah, it changes
Cool.
a little bit.
And you can just ask for it. Yeah. And also ask your body, what's required to release all these dense energies that I feel more comfortable and more at ease when I'm actually in you. And everything that doesn't allow that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And oftentimes we are not being really present in our bodies. And because we perceive all the energies we've created. That was one thing that I experienced when I started Access. And I didn't start with the bars as most of the people. I joined Dane's very first being you class. And unfortunately, a client project started again, and I couldn't fly to LA as I was supposed to. So I streamed it at home. And thanks to Susie, I had the opportunity to participate in that class online. And I haven't done the bars, I haven't really played with the tools, but after 2.5 days, my entire life was different. And I was in it for the first time, because before I was not really present in my body, not at all. And what I was perceiving after that class was not so nice. It was really heavy and intense, but I really got, this is what I've created. And I start playing with the tools, asking questions. And within 12 months, my entire life was completely different. Different job, different place to live, different friends. I still have the same family, but I have so much more ease with the family. And everything changed. And this is something a lot of people are not really present. And that's also really required to create your life. You have to be present in your body. It's kind of like if you ask for something, if you order, and then you check out, you're not in your body.
Yeah.
Where the hell should the universe deliver what you've asked for?
Yeah, and I can tell now that it's not the. It's very funny how what kind of sensation that is. It's not muscle tension, but it's tension inside. It's more like, I think it's more my fascia that is just sort of stuck, and I've been working on that too, and looking at that, going, okay, what else can I do? And exactly, it's body work and moving is what
Yeah.
my body is requiring.
Yeah. And movement is really important because we oftentimes think we sit on the couch, we choose, and then we have to wait until it comes. And sometimes there is really a movement required, a physical movement or an action required. So everything that doesn't allow you guys to become aware of what action is required in order to actualize your asks, will you please destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And my Dutch is not really good. I have a sense that some people have issues hearing me with what I read energetically. Can you hear me loud and clear, Suzanne?
Yes, very much.
Yeah, and I think if people cannot hear me, it's an energetic thing. I have that lately big time in my Zooms, and yeah, I had some interesting Zooms lately.
It
So
says some, like, one can hardly hear anything. Somebody else says, I can hear everything very clearly.
yeah, cool.
Some are missing the clearing, saying, hey, can you do that? Can you, repeat the clearing?
Okay, cool. Yeah. If I read it and I still remember the clearing, I can repeat it. Otherwise, I really have to ask you guys, since I do so many clearings, I have no clue which clearing you mean, to re-listen to the recording and write it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not that I don't want to do it, but when the energy is gone, the energy is gone. And I'm
Yeah.
not facilitating from my head where I store all the clearings. I'm literally speaking to the energies I'm perceiving. And once it's cleared, I have no clue what I just said. I'm
I know.
always grateful for the recordings.
I know. And
Cool.
sometimes they're really magnificent. You're like, what did I just say?
Yeah, totally. And what else does your body require? You know, the fascia system is basically something where we store a lot of feelings and emotions. So maybe it's really an emotional detox. And I'm pretty sure you can use the Healy for that one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I do energetic manual therapy, so I'm
Oh,
already
perfect. Yeah.
I have some other people doing that. I just lately acknowledged how much more, um, on a very subtle level, abuse I have experienced in my relationship with the dad of my children. I always was like, yeah, I know it's not that bad, and just always kind of smoothing things over. And lately, I've been talking to single moms that had a narcissistic partner, and that, well, I had to acknowledge how much more has happened in that relationship of 18 years than I've really, well, had acknowledged.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then my body was, really acting up, going, yes.
Cool. Can I run a clearing on that?
Oh, absolutely.
So, what myths and archetypes are you using to choose, attract, and actualize narcissistic partners to play the abused woman you are choosing?
Oof.
So everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what is required for you to outcreate all these victim energies in relationships? Everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive all of that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And when it comes to situations where you experience victim and perpetrator energies, it always really helps if you acknowledge, everywhere I have been and done that, whatever you accuse your partner with, I destroy and uncreate. Because oftentimes we play that out with different people and switch the sides and stuff like that. So please destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And from what I experience with my classes and sessions that I give, we have created a major shift. And I talked about that in the last Zoom as well. And currently, it's really the time where all these shadow parts and pieces come up. And they are not coming up to annoy you. And you think, oh shit, I thought I cleared that. Or shit, I thought I'm over that, or whatever you think. It's really basically acknowledge them and acknowledge the creation, acknowledge the experience, and just ask your being to allow this part to integrate and dissolve all the resonance frequencies that do not allow yourself to integrate this archetype, identity, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
This part of you. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So instead of going into a wrongness, when something like that comes up, start celebrating. Celebrate that another part is now coming to your awareness and allow you to become whole again.
I was resisting the whole victim stuff because, you know, I was like really allergic to people playing the victim, and I had been releasing a lot of that interesting points of view and what have you. And now I realize, wow, I was still resisting it and not just, like you said, okay, just own, acknowledge, and integrate.
Yeah, and what I really, really love is that I relax into that part. So instead of resisting and reacting, allow it, acknowledge it, and relax into it.
Can't change what you don't acknowledge.
Yeah, it doesn't change. And that's what I told you guys earlier with the IPOs I did 100 of years ago, no, 20 years ago, but it feels like another lifetime. Cool. And whenever you have a charge, you keep that issue, that topic still in place. So instead of resisting, reacting, avoiding, start relaxing, acknowledging, allowing, and receiving.
Yeah.
And everything that doesn't allow that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes, please.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay.
Yeah, I can feel it in my sinuses.
Cool.
Stuff just.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you for your amazing questions.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is Birgit. You're now unmuted, I guess.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. I have a question. Actually, can you clear some sort of pain and guilt from another life that you remember, that I actually remember?
That I remember or that you remember?
I remember.
Okay.
Because that's actually, I am in the process of letting go some very intense things that I found out and I started remembering that actually are related to a person that I feel is drifting off and is not doing well. And that hurts me. But then I found out that this kind of thing already happened in another life with the same person, same soul, let's say. And it makes it a little bit confusing for me sometimes, but it's all coming up and it's already going out. But since I was in this call, I'm a little bit scared to ask because it's quite a sensitive topic, maybe. But yeah, I had a feeling, why not ask if there will.
No problem. And you know, I'm kind of like, if it's not really a total personal issue where you require a private session, I always use the topics and create something for everyone. So I would like to invite everyone, if you have a specific person where you kind of like annoyed with, or that creates a reaction in your universe, let's do a little exercise with that. Yeah. So first of all, there is a thing in Access, we call them distractor implants, and fear and guilt, for example, are distractor implants. And what they do, once they turn on, you cannot really go beyond it. So you're kind of stuck in that guilt and you cannot really see what it's all about. So what we do, it's pretty simple. We just ask all the distractor implants running the show right now, will you destroy and uncreate them, please?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, poc, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Cool. And what we do, one of the major tools in Access when it comes to relationships of any kind, we ask the people to destroy and uncreate all of their relationships, and even the relationships they have with themselves. That's pretty easy because you can just say, everything I was yesterday, I destroy and uncreate. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, poc, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And then you do not have to function from the judgments, conclusions, expectations you had of you yesterday. So you create yourself anew. And with relationships, I would like to ask you to destroy and uncreate all of your relationships. And I ask every one of you who has a person that annoys you in any way, all of the relationships you have with that person through any and all lifetimes, dimensions, realities, including all the reference point objectives and definitions, will you please destroy and uncreate them all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock on 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And everything that kind of like keeps you bound together, everything that sticks you, all the unresolved issues, all the unresolved energies, and especially all the vows, oaths, fealties, communities, binding, bondings, and commitments you still have from any and all lifetimes, will you please revoke, resent, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate all of that, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And a little sidetrack, when you are upset about something, one of the greatest clearings, it's pretty simple, and you can run that on a repeat mode, and I will run that too. Think about that person, think about whatever annoys you with that person. So what stupidity are you using to create the upset you are choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And those of you who are annoyed with Healy, please use it. Think about Healy and everything you have been annoyed with, all the support issues. So what stupidity are you using to create the upset you are choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And again, what stupidity are you using? And stupidity meaning unawareness, to create the upset you are choosing. Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Cool. And if you now think about that person, how is it? Different?
I'm not sure. I feel a little bit lighter,
Cool.
and so that's good. Uh, I guess it's also it's a big story which I'm not going to go into. Also a big story in history, so I don't want to disclose too
Okay.
much. But this
And
helped. I also was doing it in the other things. I was kind of already taking this in to see if it would work while I was waiting with Susanna actually, and it seemed to work as well. So anything that works, right?
cool. And there's another thing. So, how many lifetimes have you spent with that person?
That I know of this life, but also two before that I know of. But
Several.
I only know what I know.
Okay, so let's agree on several, and just be with the energies. How many? And I'm do not really care about the accuracy of the numbers. It's more like energetically acknowledge if something is there.
Yeah,
So, and in how many lifetimes have you guys killed each other?
at least in one.
Yeah, and whose turn is it in this lifetime to kill the other one?
I don't think anybody's.
Ah, admit it. Whose turn is it?
Well, if I was the killer before, then now he should be, but that's not the message I got. So I don't know.
Yeah, so whatever the message is you got, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all the DJCCs and pissers you have of that? And whenever you hear a message, because I'm not a big fan of people giving me readings of past life things, because oftentimes we make it significant and then we kind of hold it in place. And that's what I love about Access. You do not need to know the story, but you have to know, you have to have the willingness to
Yeah,
choose something different.
I know. It's not being read to me. I actually remember some
Okay,
by myself.
okay.
This person that I was is a very famous person of 500 years ago. So there is a lot of content about this person. So you kind of cannot escape, but I don't know exactly what happened. So there's a lot of hearsay because no one knows, but many wonder. But
Yeah.
I do remember being that person, and I know who the other one was. And that was very big shock. So I actually saw it myself.
Well, and I had a similar experience. And from what I've read from that person, and it was not the most famous person. You know the name, but you do not know her name specifically. And from the story I read, I went into a conclusion. And that conclusion stuck me for years.
Yeah.
So, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all the DJCCs and pissers you have about the person you were and the other person was throughout any and all lifetimes, dimensions, and realities?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Because the delicate things and the secrets are often not told in history books. So whatever there was, and sometimes the truth is also twisted. So
Yeah.
it's really, let's look
It's not
at what,
correct with what I remember. So
yeah.
I know it is, but what I remember is actually way worse. So that's the thing.
Yeah, but maybe were you the way worse person or was he the way worse person?
We were tricked.
Cool.
Actually, we were not worse people, both of us.
Okay.
But there was a lot of jealousy, scam, and secrecy about us because back then we were two men and we were very famous and you couldn't have a relationship. And as I know, there was a setup why I decided that I had to, because I was the ruler, let's say, so I could decide. And because I thought that The other
That goes really, really specifically in that issue.
yeah, it
And
doesn't
I don't want to dive too deep into the story.
it doesn't matter. But we were tricked, so
Yeah.
I actually felt sorry my whole life.
Yeah. And can you feel that you are still stuck with that?
Yes, it came up recently, so
Yeah.
that's why I was like, hey, maybe I can ask it here, because this is something I'm
you
dealing
can, but it also requires your willingness to let it go. So everything that kept you stuck there and
with.
is still keeping you stuck in the whole story.
Mhm.
Yeah, and everywhere you felt as a victim and you cannot get out of that victimhood, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Huh?
Yeah, that's good. Thanks. Because
Right and wrong,
it doesn't really matter what it is.
shorts, boys, and not at
I
all.
want to get
Shorts,
rid
boys,
of it
and
because it doesn't serve me. Doesn't
no.
help me at all.
No, not at all. And it's really interesting to have that. But once you acknowledge it and you integrate that part, it's done.
Yeah.
And you do not need to make it more significant and really give so much energy and space in your current life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. That's why my question came from. I was like, okay, let's try this.
Yeah, and really also allow yourself to integrate the cool parts of being famous, rich, and being a ruler. How awesome is that?
Yeah, it was a shock. It is a really big shock. So I'm still digesting this because I
You're
actually
sweet. It was a shock in one part, but another part of
pretty
you is
cool.
really
Yeah.
enjoying it, but not allowing yourself to enjoy it fully. So relax into it, enjoy it, celebrate, and have fun.
I will, because it's a cool person. Let's say it like that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and really embrace that. You know, this is it, and embrace it and all the rest that is no longer a contribution. Destroy and uncreate it and let it go. And do not allow you that a past life aspect is still keeping you stuck here,
Yeah.
because you are a different person and you can choose totally different. And acknowledging it is really important,
Yeah.
but don't allow anything to stick you.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you for your question, Birgit.
You're welcome.
So anyone else who has a question? Okay, then I continue with my choices. And we had a lot of different energies, a lot of different topics. And what I really would like to invite you to is look at the choices that currently create your life and your business. So, what myth and archetypes are you using to create the life and business you are currently choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And this is such a broad clearing and it has a lot of energy on it. So, what myth and archetypes are you using to destroy? What myth and archetypes are you using to create the life and business you are currently choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So, for example, all of you, everyone who thinks that Jackie or Mart, who's unfortunately now gone, but now I can talk about him now that he's gone. Everyone who thinks you cannot outcreate them because they started with the Healy earlier, they have built their business. Is that true? Or is that also a myth and archetype? So, what myth and archetypes are you using that do not allow you to outcreate Jackie and Mart with ease, joy, and glory you are choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Because what we often do is we are boxing us in, and we think people who are in a structure like that higher than us are the limit. And it's just our thought that creates that limit. It's not really real. And what myth and archetypes are you using to avoid actualizing a phenomenal Healy business you are choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And this is really a cool clearing that you can run nonstop, 24/7. Whew. I repeat it again. So, what myth and archetypes are you using to avoid actualizing a phenomenal Healy business you are choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And there is so much dense energies because we are functioning so much from computations that if this is like that, this has to be the result and stuff like that. So what if you would allow yourself to melt all these boxes you have created with your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your conclusions, expectations, projections, separations, rejections, and so on? What if you could melt all these boxes that limit you to actualize the business that is actually possible? And I would like to do a little playful exercise with you, and I would like to invite you to connect with your business and destroy and uncreate. Your business is an entity. In the legal area, we also call it a legal entity. But a business has a consciousness of its own. It's an organism. And I would like to invite you to connect with your business, with the organism of your business. And now destroy and uncreate all the relationships you have with your business and all the DJCCs and PISAs, which means decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections. Destroy and uncreate all of them too. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what myth and archetypes are you using with your business that do not allow you to actualize the business that you could truly generate, create, institute, and actualize? Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And now relax into your business, like you're relaxed into your body. So, what myth and archetypes are you using to avoid being in total communion with your business you are choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And if you would have no point of view about your business, what could you actually generate, create, institute, and actualize with your business? What choices can you make today that would allow you to outcreate everything you have ever imagined possible to actualize with a business with total ease? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And now just connect with your business and ask it to become phenomenal, more and more phenomenal every day. And really see what comes up. Is there a resistance from your side? Is there a resistance from your business? Whatever thoughts, feelings, and emotions come up, just perceive them, acknowledge them, and relax into that. And there can be things like, if you would be truly successful in business, you would no longer have any friends, or your family would not talk with you because you would be that rich and arrogant business owner, or whatever it is in your world. Just perceive what comes up and relax into it. And then ask again, if this is something you would like to ask. This is just an example. You can ask your business anything and really connect with it. Be in communion with your business and ask your business to become even more phenomenal, even more expansive, even more profitable every day. What is required? Business, would you like to contribute? And you might be surprised that you get a yes. And oftentimes it's really us being in our boxes, in our limitations that do not allow us to really receive what is actually possible with the business. And therefore, I would like to invite you to relax even more into your business and start receiving the energy that your business actually would like to gift you. And what gift are you to your business that you have not acknowledged yet? Everything that is, and everything that doesn't allow that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And what could you now choose to create the business you truly desire? What choices can you make today to actualize the business you truly desire? And everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive all of that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Cool. And this is a way you could commune. And I love the word commune because it actually means to communicate. But in the word commune is also the energy of communion. So will you allow yourself from now on to commune with your business and really include your business as a living organism, as an entity into your creations with your business? And Sartya, you have your hand up. I'm unmuting you. Hello.
Oh, hi. I'm
Hi.
sorry. I was totally into my business.
Wonderful.
What was the question again? I had the question. Oh, God. I can't remember the question anymore. I do remember. Yeah, that it's like with my business and everything I do, it's like I do a lot of things and there's a lot of things working out. And still, I always have something like it's never good enough, or it has to be like this, or not like I'm doing it. It's like there's this.
And who or what are you being when you are like that? If you could give that part of you a name, how would you name it?
The name Truus komt al. Is coming up.
What? I didn't understand it, sorry.
Truus. It's a really Dutch name. Truus.
Okay.
I don't know, that one's coming up.
And this is just a name like,
Yeah.
for example,
It's
Mart.
more like being, like, example.
It's a name like Mart, so a Dutch name, or?
Yeah, a Dutch woman's name.
Okay. And is a woman with that name in your family? You're muted again. I didn't mute you, my dear.
Unmute.
Cool.
Sorry, unmute.
When I was asking about that energy, it was more like a parental energy that you try to make it right, to prove something, and it's never good enough. Are you familiar with that? Have you experienced any of that in this lifetime? And it can also be a teacher or any mentor person who you are trying to prove something.
Yeah, I think it's my mother's.
I didn't want to say it again. Yeah.
Yeah, and also what I notice now with the kids, how often we my husband is saying now, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this, and they are choosing something else instead of empowering them that their choice is their choice and it's okay. And is it okay? And instead of asking questions, it's all the time like that. And this is what I know, it's always, oh, you should have done that. And that's something I know.
Yeah, you can also
Oh, you shouldn't do that, you should have done that. So it's always like that. So
yeah, and you can really say also this is functioning from other people's projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections, basically. Yeah, it's where you try to function from other people's universes. So what myth and archetypes are you using to try to function from other people's universes you are choosing? That doesn't allow you to create your own universe. Everything that is times a gazillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And everywhere you have decided, concluded, and solidified that other people know more than you, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And you know, I would like to invite every one of you to start functioning from what you know in business and not from what other people tell you. Because if you want to make the projections, expectations, judgments, and all that stuff from other people right, you will never create your business. What if you truly know what is required? And everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
and I'm really, sorry.
The more you're functioning from the space where you really allow yourself to know it, the less you have to prove it to anyone else. And you really start creating so much more ease in your life. And everything that doesn't allow that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So Satya, if you do not have to prove anything with your business, what choices could you actually make today? Could you allow yourself to have fun in business? To really enjoy it? And maybe even be flooded with success?
Yeah, yeah.
Relax into it. And really, guys, start relaxing into all the energies you are resisting, all the energies you have a reaction. Perceive it, acknowledge it, relax into it, allow it, receive it. This is how you easily shift and change those energies and create a different reality in and with your business.
Yeah, and I know I'm really already doing it so my own way. And it's more also the acknowledgement that it's okay. It's perfectly okay how I am doing it.
Yeah. And the
Even
cool
if other
trick,
people do it different or whatever. Yeah.
totally, because one of my things is really creating a business that works for you. And this has a two-part meaning, that it really works for you, that you're happy with it. And the other thing is that you allow your business to work for you, to contribute to you also. And instead of trying to find the solution on the outside, really commune with your business, play with it, ask it questions, and allow your business to contribute. And everything that doesn't allow that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what myth and archetypes are you using to avoid receiving the contribution your business actually is? Are you choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay?
Yes, thank you very much.
And really start functioning from what you know. And you might be the only one on this planet who knows this. And a question Gary gave me at least 3 times when I asked him was, what do I know that no one else knows? So what do you know in business, Satya? No one else knows. And everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive all of that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Wonderful. So I hope this call was a contribution and gave you guys impulses and yeah, kind of like invited you of asking more questions and really allowing yourself to look at the choices that you are creating in and with your business. And I'm happy to continue and do another call with whatever is required. So please just let Jackie know what topics you would like. I'm happy to do that. I really enjoy it. And what else can we create together with the Healy and beyond the Healy that would allow us to actualize what we all know is possible here on planet Earth, but we do not have the words for. Everything that is and everything that doesn't allow us to perceive, know, be, and receive all of that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, on nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what choices can you make today to generate, create, institute, and actualize the business you truly desire right away? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the thank yous. And it was a pleasure again. Thank you.
That was really amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Danke, Tanja.
Gerne.